What does the INFJ stare mean and what is it? The INFJ stare is a phenomenon often discussed within the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator (MBTI) community. INFJ, standing for introversion, intuition, feeling, and judging, is one of the 16 personality types identified by the MBTI. Known for their deep empathy, intuition, and strong value systems, INFJs are sometimes referred to as the mystics or counselors. One unique trait often associated with INFJs is their intense, penetrating stare. This video will delve into what the INFJ stare means, its significance, and why it captivates those who encounter it. The INFJ stare, what is it? It is often described as an intense, penetrating gaze that seems to look right through you. It can be both mesmerizing and unnerving. This stare is not something INFJs consciously do, it is a natural expression of their personality and how they engage with the world. Characteristics of the INFJ stare. 1. Intensity. The stare is deeply focused and unwavering. It often feels as though the INFJ is looking into your soul, seeing parts of you that you might not even be aware of. 2. Curiosity. Behind the stare is a profound curiosity about people and their motives. INFJs are natural detectives when it comes to understanding others, and their gaze reflects this inquisitiveness. 3. Empathy. The stare is also a reflection of their deep empathy. INFJs can often sense the emotions and thoughts of others, and their gaze can convey a sense of understanding and compassion. 4. Intuition. INFJs use their intuition to read between the lines. Their stare can feel like they are gathering information beyond what is being said or shown, picking up on subtle cues and unspoken emotions. Why do INFJs stare? The INFJ stare can be attributed to several reasons, all of which tie back to their core personality traits. Here are some reasons. 1. Deep thought. INFJs are often lost in thought. Their minds are constantly processing information, making connections, and considering possibilities. When they are in deep thought, they might unintentionally fixate their gaze on someone or something. This deep, contemplative state can result in the intense stare that others notice. 2. Seeking understanding. INFJs have a strong desire to understand the people around them. They want to know what makes others tick, what their motivations are, and how they truly feel. This quest for understanding leads them to observe others closely, often resulting in the INFJ stare. They are not merely looking at you, they are trying to understand you on a deeper level. 3. Empathetic connection. As natural empaths, INFJs often use their stare to connect with others emotionally. They can sense when someone is in distress or needs support, and their gaze can be a way of offering silent comfort and understanding. This empathetic connection is a crucial aspect of the INFJ stare. 4. Intuitive analysis. INFJs rely heavily on their intuition to navigate the world. They are constantly analyzing and interpreting their surroundings, looking for patterns and hidden meanings. When they stare, they are often using their intuition to gather information and gain insights into a person or situation. Personal anecdotes and experiences. Many people who have encountered the INFJ stare have shared their experiences, often describing it as a powerful and unforgettable encounter. Here are a few personal anecdotes that highlight the impact of the INFJ stare. A friend's perspective. Daria, an extroverted ENFP, recalls her first encounter with the INFJ stares from her friend, Homa. I remember the first time I noticed Homa's stare. We were at a party, and I was talking about something that was bothering me. Suddenly, I realized he was looking at me with this intense, focused gaze. It was like he could see right through me, understanding things I hadn't even said. It was a bit unnerving at first, but then I realized he was just trying to connect and understand. It made me feel seen and heard in a way I hadn't experienced before. A professional encounter. Ox, a manager at a tech company, shares his experience with an INFJ colleague, Mi-Vu. Mi-Vu has this incredible ability to read the room and understand what people need. During meetings, I've often caught her staring at team members with this penetrating gaze. It's like she's gathering information and figuring out the best way to approach a problem. Her stare can be intimidating, but it's also reassuring because you know she's genuinely invested in finding the best solution. An INFJ's perspective. Rachel, an INFJ, explains her experience with her stare. I've always been told I have this intense gaze, and I never really understood it until I learned about the INFJ stare. For me, it's not something I do intentionally. When I'm talking to someone or thinking deeply, I tend to focus my eyes on them. It's my way of connecting and understanding. I've had people tell me it's unnerving, but I hope they also feel my empathy and desire to understand. The impact of the INFJ stare. The INFJ stare can have a profound impact on those who experience it. While it can be intense and sometimes unsettling, it also carries a sense of empathy, understanding, and connection. Here are a few ways the INFJ stare can affect others. A. Feeling understood. One of the most significant impacts of the INFJ stare is the feeling of being understood. INFJs have a unique ability to see beyond the surface and understand the deeper emotions and motivations of others. Their stare can convey a sense of validation and empathy, making people feel seen and heard. B. Building trust. The INFJ stare can also help build trust. When people feel understood and validated, they are more likely to trust the person they are interacting with. The INFJ's ability to connect on a deeper level can create a strong foundation of trust and mutual respect. C. Intimidation. On the flip side, the intensity of the INFJ stare can also be intimidating. People who are not used to such focused attention might feel uncomfortable or exposed. It's important for INFJs to be aware of this and to use their stare mindfully, ensuring it is received as intended. D. Encouraging openness. The empathetic nature of the INFJ stare can encourage others to open up. When people feel that someone genuinely wants to understand them, they are more likely to share their thoughts and feelings. This can lead to deeper, more meaningful conversations and stronger connections. How to respond to the INFJ stare. If you find yourself on the receiving end of the INFJ stare, there are a few things you can do to make the experience more comfortable and beneficial for both parties. 1. Recognize the intent. Understand that the stare is not meant to intimidate or make you uncomfortable. It's a natural expression of the INFJ's desire to connect and understand. Recognizing this intent can help you feel more at ease. 2. Engage in honest conversation. INFJs value authenticity and honesty. Engaging in a genuine, heartfelt conversation can make the stare feel less intense and more like a natural part of the interaction. Share your thoughts and feelings openly, and you'll likely find that the stare becomes a channel for deeper connection and understanding. 3. Ask questions. If you're unsure why the INFJ is staring at you, don't hesitate to ask. A simple question like, "What are you thinking about?" can help clarify their thoughts and intentions. This can also open up a dialogue and create an opportunity for mutual understanding. 4. Reflect on your feelings. Consider why the stare makes you feel uncomfortable or intrigued. The INFJ stare often brings up strong emotions and reflections. Taking the time to understand your feelings can provide valuable insights into yourself and your relationship with the INFJ. The INFJ stare is a fascinating and multifaceted phenomenon. It is a natural expression of the INFJ's deep empathy, curiosity, and intuition. While it can be intense and sometimes intimidating, it also carries a profound sense of understanding and connection. By recognizing the intent behind the stare and engaging in honest, heartfelt conversations, we can appreciate the unique and valuable perspective that INFJs bring to our lives. The next time you encounter the INFJ stare, embrace it as an opportunity for deeper connection and understanding. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to support this channel. Please share across social media platforms to reach a wider audience. Personal anecdotes and experiences provide rich insight into the enigmatic INFJ stare. Here are a few more stories from people who have encountered it, as well as some reflections from INFJs themselves. A mentor's gaze. Sophia, a student, shares her experience with her INFJ professor. I had this one professor in college who was an INFJ. During our one-on-one discussions, I noticed he would sometimes fixate on me with this intense, unwavering stare. It was like he was looking beyond my words, trying to understand the underlying issues I was struggling with. One day, after a particularly difficult week, I broke down and shared some personal challenges I was facing. His gaze softened, and I could feel his empathy and genuine concern. That stare wasn't just about analyzing, it was about connecting and offering support. An unexpected ally. Michael, an INTP, recounts his first significant interaction with an INFJ colleague, Karen. I'm not usually one for deep emotional exchanges, but Karen, our team lead, had this way of looking at you that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. During a project crisis, I was stressed and feeling overwhelmed. Karen caught my eye from across the room and gave me that penetrating stare. Later, she pulled me aside and asked if everything was all right. She had sensed my anxiety without me saying a word. Her understanding and support helped me get through that tough period. Her stare might have been intense, but it also conveyed a level of empathy and insight I hadn't experienced before. The stare of insight. Jenna, an INFJ, describes her perspective on her stare. As an INFJ, I've been told about my intense stare many times. I never meant to make anyone uncomfortable, it's just my way of understanding people. Once, during a family gathering, my cousin was talking about his new job, but something felt off. I found myself staring, trying to figure out what he wasn't saying. He eventually opened up about his fears and doubts. My family often jokes about my X-ray vision, but it's just me wanting to connect and help. The customer connection. Liam, a retail manager, discusses his experience with an INFJ employee, Maria. Maria, one of my best employees, has this incredible ability to connect with customers. I noticed she has this focused, almost hypnotic gaze when she's listening to someone. One day, a regular customer confided in her about personal struggles. Maria's attentive stare and empathetic responses made the customer feel heard and valued. It wasn't just about selling products, she genuinely cared about the people who walked through our doors. That stare of hers built trust and loyalty with our customers. The friend who sees through you. Schneider, an INFJ, reflects on her friendships. I've always been the go-to friend for advice and support, which I think is partly because of my ability to see people. My friends often say I have a way of looking at them that makes them feel like I understand what they're going through, even before they say anything. One friend told me my stare made her feel vulnerable but also incredibly safe, knowing she could share anything with me without judgment. I think that's the power of the INFJ stare. It's not just about seeing, but about truly understanding and connecting. The partner's perspective. Ian, an ESTP, talks about his INFJ partner, Laura. Laura has this intense gaze that she gives me, especially when we're having deep conversations. At first, it was a bit unnerving, but I've come to appreciate it. It's like she's seeing every part of me, the good and the bad, but she loves me anyway. Her stare often leads to these incredibly insightful conversations where she helps me see things from a different perspective. It's one of the things I love most about her. A therapeutic encounter. Mark, a therapist, describes his experience with an INFJ client. As a therapist, I'm used to being the one who listens and observes. However, one of my clients, an INFJ, often surprises me with her intense stare. During our sessions, she sometimes looks at me with such depth that it feels like she's trying to understand me just as much as I'm trying to understand her. It's a unique experience that has made our therapeutic relationship incredibly reciprocal. Her stare has pushed me to reflect on my own emotions and thoughts more deeply. A moment of realization. Nina, an INFJ, shares a story from her childhood. I remember being in elementary school and always getting in trouble for staring at my classmates. One day, a friend was upset, and I couldn't help but stare, trying to figure out how to help. My teacher noticed and asked me why I was staring. When I explained that I was worried about my friend, she seemed to understand. That was the first time I realized my stare wasn't just a quirk, it was a part of who I am and how I connect with others. The INFJ stare is more than just a look, it's a window into the soul of a deeply empathetic and intuitive personality. Whether it's through personal struggles, professional challenges, or everyday interactions, the INFJ stare has the power to connect, understand, and support in ways that are both profound and unique. These anecdotes and experiences highlight the various ways in which this intense gaze impacts relationships and interactions, offering a glimpse into the depth and compassion that define the INFJ personality. Understanding the INFJ personality. To comprehend the INFJ stare, it's essential to first understand the INFJ personality. INFJs make up a small percentage of the population, estimated at around 1 to 2%. This rarity contributes to their enigmatic and often misunderstood nature. Core traits of INFJs. 1. Introversion. INFJs are introspective and prefer deep, meaningful interactions over small talk. They often need time alone to recharge their energy. 2. Intuition. They rely on their intuition to understand the world. This means they look for patterns, underlying meanings, and possibilities rather than focusing on concrete details. 3. Feeling. INFJs make decisions based on their values and how they will affect others. They are deeply empathetic and often put others' needs above their own. 4. Judging. They prefer structure and planning over spontaneity. They like to have a sense of control over their environment and can be perfectionists. These traits combine to create a person who is deeply empathetic, insightful, and often feels misunderstood. The INFJ stare is a manifestation of these traits. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to our channel for more self-improvement videos. Comment below to tell us how useful you found this video. Remember to share on various social media platforms to reach a wider audience. Click the notification bell to get notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.